Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sinag and welcome to a new reading vlog. So in this reading vlog, we're going to read Second Chance Romance. I finished reading Made to Love You by Sheryl. Vivian and Devin are our main characters in this one, and their second chance romance is a bit of a ride. And so in this one, Vivian is a flower shop owner. She and her friend and business partner as well goes to this wedding destination kind of thing, because they are tasked to arrange the flowers and to basically assist in taking care of the flowers in the venue and the flowers that's going to be used by the bride and the entourage. So the groom is Devin's best friend, and so that's where they kind of reconnect. And the reason why they broke up is related to Vivian's brother and a robbery situation in Devin's house. So I realized that I kind of like wedding destinations. I just love reading about weddings. So let's now talk about the two of them together. Their relationship is a journey because of the different and constant miscommunications between the two of them. The reason why they broke up in the first place, I kind of understand. I buy the second chance aspect, but the reconnection part, the groveling part, I kind of find it annoying because of the miscommunication. Like Vivian is approaching Devin to tell her side of the story and him cutting her off, and Vivian not telling the entire truth during the first time that she tries to tell the truth. So it's really annoying. So I think Vivian tells the truth to Devin twice already, 3 times. I just find it annoying, and can we just do it in one go and not dance around the topic? So the first time it happened, I can agree that it's realistic that some people are not just really cannot blurt out everything on the first go. Isn't it the proper headspace to listen or talk about things? But the second time and the third time, and it's just so annoying. As I've mentioned, Vivian has her friend and business partner Mariah come to her. So both of them are part of the flower shop, and they are the owners. So they go to this trip, and then Vivian also has another friend, Dawn. So Dawn is not part of the flower shop business, and she just wanted to join them to this Jamaican wedding. So Dawn is so annoying in it. Though I kind of feel that already from how she acted towards Devin, because she knows that Devin and Vivian has history, and she knows that Vivian still loves Devin, and yet she still tried to hook up with him, and she's just a horrible friend. And I'm glad that Mariah and Vivian cut her off and didn't forgive her easily, and basically didn't forgive her in this one. I don't know if they're going to forgive her in the future, but I'm glad that they didn't fall for her pity me bullshit. I like seeing another thing other than the relationship aspect in a book. So I appreciate seeing Mariah always standing up for Vivian. I'm going to be honest, if this is just pure on the miscommunication part during the reconciliation situation, I'm just going to be annoyed because I want something more to happen. It's kind of boring to see these two main characters going back and forth and not really solving anything or not really saying the actual truth, whether it is the situation or their feelings. So I kind of appreciate the added layer. So I gave this book 3 stars. The reason why this is just an average kind of read for me is because of that constant miscommunication. I feel like I realized that miscommunication sometimes is necessary. It's realistic for people to have miscommunications, but once is already enough. Like after that, that's kind of a bit unrealistic or a bit idiotic na. For me personally, miscommunication is okay as long as it makes sense with the story and with the characters and the narrative. Sometimes, basically, it depends on the writing. And I feel like in this one, the miscommunication was dragged on a bit too long than what I wanted. Other than that, I loved the layers and the background and the reason why they have a second chance romance. So that's it for this update, and I still don't know what I'm going to read next, but I'll see you later on the next clip. I'm currently at the 35% mark of Renovation of Love by Meka James. So far, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm kind of a bit nostalgic, and it elicits different emotions in me, and I have lots of thoughts, thoughts that are related with the book and not related to it. This is about Cynthia and Marcel. So they are actually high school sweethearts, and due to reasons, Cynthia suddenly left their small town and go to the city and basically cut all of her connections to Marcel and her other and other people in their small town, except to her Andrea and her two best friends. Aside from that, this is a small town romance, and right now, by the start of the book actually, they are, both of them, Marcel and Cynthia, are in their 40s na. So this book shows main characters that a little bit later in life na, like, because di ba usually in the contemporary romances that we're seeing, the main characters usually are in their early to late 20s or late 20s to early 30s, but in this one they are in their 40s. So it's really interesting to see a new perspective when it comes to the second chance aspect in romance. And because in this one, Marcel already has 2 children and Cynthia has none. So there's a lot of things that happened between her high school sweetheart situation and to where they are currently at the present. It really shows the growth and maturity of both of them, and aside from that, how they changed as a person, and how their views change towards life and towards themselves and towards each other. So it's very interesting to see that. I don't usually like small town in books, and I don't usually gravitate towards small town romance, but this one is making me feel at home and makes me think of my childhood, because I grew up in the province in my maternal grandparents home, and their house kasi is situated near the forest and rice paddies, and I just miss, because in this one right now at the 35% mark, they have a lot of reminiscence. They kind of reminiscence a lot back when they were high school, and because this is a renovation pala. I'm getting all over the place, but the reason why Cynthia goes back to the small town is because she inherited her aunt's house, because her aunt unfortunately passed away years ago, and after, I don't remember if it is 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but she just got back to it now during the present time and decided to make the house a B&B, and so she needed to renovate it because that house is very old, and her friend Regina helped her find people who can help her in renovating the house. So that's why this is a renovation of love, or there's renovation in the title. So, and Marcel, her childhood or her high school sweetheart, is actually the carpenter in the town, and he and this is basically their reunion kind of. And both of them grew up with Andrea, and not just them but the other teens or the other people their age back then. So basically Andrea is kind of the second mother to all of the teens their age back then. I kind of felt sad while reading this book. And it's kind of scary for me because right now I'm currently in my early 20s, and I know I still have another 20 years for me to reach Marcel and Cynthia's age of 40 something. But it's kind of scary for me to think about the future and look back to all of the things that happened or right now currently happening. And I am just surprised because I didn't expect for this book to elicit that kind of reaction and emotion from me, especially because I have a preconceived notion that I don't like small town romance, and right now I still don't know if I like small town romance. Maybe I'm going to do a reading vlog reading small town romance books and see if I like those, or not necessarily romance books, small town romance, but small towns in books where the town is heavily what do you call this, is heavily in there in the book, or heavily present in the book. But I think that would be a great idea for me to try and test my what do you call this, what I like and dislike in a book. But going back to the point because I kind of had a little bit of tangent in there, but going back to the point, this book is really surprising me in a good way, and I love that because I didn't expect this to be like this, to be very emotional in my part. I really don't know if this is really an emotional book because I didn't get that from the cover. And but I guess it really depends on what the reader reads, or it really depends on the reader because we have different experiences and different ways of consuming or processing information. So maybe to other people this is just another usual contemporary romance, but for me it kind of hits differently, and I think this book will stay with me for a longer period of time, and I will think about it a lot. I think I also because I journal, I don't journal every day. I just journal every time I have some thoughts and I need to process some thoughts and feelings and emotions. So I think this is going to have a what do you call this, an entry in my journal because it's kind of fascinating that this romance or this contemporary romance elicited so much emotion in me. I felt the nostalgia while also feeling sad and happy and a bit of kilig because obviously this is a romance, so there's a romantic aspect between the main characters, and I just love books like this that can elicit different emotions and makes you really think, and not just surface level kind of thinking, but you really kind of have what do you call this, a reflection with regard to your life. And I don't know if this is the first book that made me think back of my childhood, but I think it is not just about my childhood but also about the future. And how am I going to look back right now in my life when I was at a later age. I don't know if that sentence makes sense, but this book makes me think of what legacy I am making, how and how my actions right now in my early 20s, how will I see it when I was or when I am in my 40s or 50s, and if I am going to regret things that I did or didn't do didn't do right now. So it's really right now I can say much or delve deeper to that because I need to journal about it. I really need to examine myself and think about what it means to be successful and to achieve something or achievements basically. I don't know if this is making sense na because my brain my brain is kind of emotional. And basically, I love this book. I'm still in the 34% mark, but I can feel that this book is going to be a 5-star read for me. The only thing that could make me not rate this book 5-star at the end is if something really horrible happened at the third act or by the end of the book. And I think it will not go that way. I think this is my first Meka James book, and I don't know why, but their writing style, I trusted how Meka James wrote this book, and I don't know, but I feel like it's really going to comfort me a lot, and I'm so excited to continue reading this book and to finish this one. But yeah, so I'm going to journal about all of the revelations and reflections that I have while reading this book, and all of the thoughts and emotions that this book elicited from me. But I'm not going to put that here on YouTube because it's for me, it's very personal for me. But I just love when I read books like this where I get to examine my life, and not just my life but my feelings and reflections from the past and thinking about the future. So I don't know if I just kept on repeating myself over and over or if I'm making sense, but so that's all for this clip. I'll see you in my next clip. I finished reading Renovation of Love by Meka James, and I'm giving it 5 stars. This one is just a cozy read for me, and it really made me want to read more small town romance. I find it really comforting, especially the fact that I feel like they Cynthia and Marcel really felt like a fated mates to me. It's just so comforting to read, and you really can see how they care for each other, and especially Marcel, because he always do this thing, even small things that makes Cynthia happy or that will uplift her mood, and enjoyed seeing their interactions together. And I actually really highly recommend this book because of the maturity and the experiences that they've gathered. It made this book a lot more impactful. It really gives me the perfect balance between coziness, maturity, and fun. And I don't know how to really explain it, but it shows, or at least for me, it shows how to be fun while also being mature. This is my first Meka James book, and I am looking forward to reading more of their books, and I feel like Meka James will be a potential favorite author for me in the future. This is going to be the end of this reading vlog. I actually have read, or at least tried to read, 2 more books for this reading vlog, but unfortunately near the 20% mark of both of these books I DNF'd it, and I'm not in the mood for that kind of second chance romance, because both of those books involves second chance romance where external factors is the main thing that affects, or the main reason why the main characters broke up in the first place. And for me personally, I like my second chance romance to be the reason why they broke up in the first place is because of internal things, or internal, either in the way of internal in terms of the individual characters, or the characters relationship, kind of internal. Want a more introspective kind of thing, or introspective kind of second chance aspect. I don't know if it is making sense. So basically, I just want our main characters to take accountability with their actions, and I want them to really chose, or they decided, and they made no regrets doing what they did, or they made no regrets with breaking up with the other person because of reasons. And I like that kind of thing in second chance romance. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I upload something. That's all for me for now. See you in my next video. Bye!